why don't we just, can you talk for like 8-10 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, and then 10 minutes.
Yeah, I got to make a run.
We'll let you go.
Okay, go ahead. Anytime.
Okay, so tell us who you are and what do you do? What's your background?
Yeah, my name is Charles Deroko. I'm a certified marine surveyor. I've been incorporated in the state of New York since 1998, and I do a variety of projects. I do commercial work, and I do private boats, and I also do historic vessels.
How'd you get into this?
Well, I grew up on the west side of Manhattan, right by the river, a place that used to be called Hell's Kitchen, and my playground was essentially the waterfront there. So that's how I got introduced to it.
How'd you get involved with Pegasus?
Well, I met Pamela many years ago, and we've always been friends. So when she got the boat back in the 80s, I sort of casually and informally helped her out from time to time. And then when I incorporated, I was hired to do to oversee the work for the plating work down in Tottenville in 2005, and then this haul out here for the repair of the shaft.
So what's going on here today in the yard?
Well, today in the yard they've got the propeller shaft in a lathe, and they've replaced the forward sleeve that was damaged, and they're now in the process of fiberglassing the shaft between the sleeves and on the ends to protect the sleeve from salt water. So they're doing that. They're doing a few mechanical checks on the coupling flange that connects the propeller shaft to the transmission. Pam and I have been working on the through-hull valves. We reassembled them this morning. And the yard is also doing some work on the propeller at this time. She has some slight damage on the leading edge of one blade, so they'll repair that before they put the propeller back onto the shaft.
Can you tell us what zincs are? What do they do?
Zincs are also known as sacrificial anodes. And when you have mixed metals in an electrolyte, think of a battery, you have copper plates and lead plates. And lead plates will dissipate. They'll sacrifice themselves and wind up creating electricity. Well, pretty much the same thing with the hull of a ship. If you've got a bronze propeller and you've got a steel hull, you have two dissimilar metals, and the electrolyte is, in this case, salt water. There's a lot of free ions in salt water, so you do set up a battery and the steel will sacrifice itself.
What did they do before they had zincs? The ships just...
Well, zincs were employed for many, many years. They knew about electrolysis early on, but in the case of wooden vessels that were fastened with spikes and clad with, sheathed with copper, you'd have a loss in the iron fastenings. Of course, when steel vessels or iron vessels came around, that it presented a whole other series of problems. But they were, were well aware of electrolytic action, way back. So, it was, it's a long history to it.
Interesting. So this project is almost completed?
Yeah. With any luck, we should be back in the water Friday, possibly Monday, at the latest. All that needs to be done now is the shaft has to go back in. It's got to be coupled up. The propeller's got to go on. You have to do a few items on the rudder, hook up the steering gear, and put the boat back in the water.
So you don't actually do the welding. You're not doing the hard. You're doing sort of the head work. Tell us what you specifically are overseeing.
Sure. I'm essentially a technical go-between with the yard. So if they have any questions, or I have any questions, or we discuss a method of how they're going to be doing things, and so it's always a give and take. And these guys here are very good to work with. There's never any crazy egos in a way, so it's always a pleasant experience down here at Cadell's.
What do you think when you see the boats up on the hard like this? Do you have any reaction to it?
Well, not really, other than sort of looking at them, I guess, from a professional standpoint. You sort of automatically look to see if the hull is fair, or if there's any dings or dents or anything that's apparently damaged, things like that. You know, I do that if I go on any vessel, even if it's as a passenger on the ferry. I'll just start looking around. You know, it's what I do, and I just can't stop it.
I always think they look kind of naked up like this, like, ooh, they're naked.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
They look naked.
actually.
Interesting.
No, it's a good way to put it.
Okay, so I think that's good. That's pretty much, that's good.